Other forms of inspections, there are a couple that are the seller's responsibility. For the most part, here in the state of Massachusetts, it is the seller's responsibility to obtain smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector certificates. Now again, with the bank-owned properties, some of them are going to make that the buyer's responsibility. And you need to understand that because that can run into a few $100s if the property does not have existing detectors where they need to be. And then, of course, you'd be paying for the inspection fee. So that's something to consider in the bank-owned and foreclosure side of things, is that might be an added expense as added on to yours as the buyer. The other inspection that is typically done by the seller is the Title V inspection. Now that is strictly for septic tanks, so if the property is on septic instead of sewer, then it will require a Title V certification to close. Now, while the seller does perform this inspection, there can be problems that can affect you, the buyer. So you need to understand that if it has a current Title V certificate, then everything's fine. The seller has performed the test within the criteria, and they've got the certificate, which is what the lender and the state require. If they've done the inspection and there is a problem, if it's a small problem, oftentimes it's just taken care of. The seller gets their certificate. However, there are instances where the septic has failed. That can run into the $10,000 and $20,000 range depending on where the property is. And oftentimes the sellers don't have the money to accomplish this until the proceeds come out of their property. At that time, it is of some concern because what happens in those transactions is if you're willing to, take this accommodation, the attorneys will do a holdback for the repairs, and they will hold back usually 1.5 times the expense of the Title V repair until it's been accomplished after the closing, and after it has passed and gotten its certification, then the proceeds get dispersed after the fact. So all of these things are things to consider when you're moving forward on a property, and you need to ask a lot of questions about the inspection point. This is the first of your kick-out clauses. We'll talk about the mortgage commitment date in our next video. That's your second kick-out clause. So if there is a problem with the property, this is the first date that you have to exit the contract and get your deposit returned, as long as you follow the rules. So if you have any questions, my contact information is attached to this. Love to talk to you. Take care.